Hey,
There we go.
hi, my name is Tracy. Tracy Eaton. Stage name, I go by Gentleman Jack. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about thinking outside the box, basically. Um, Magic kit that I got, candy from a magic drawer box. That's the trick advertised. And basically, all it tells you is take the box, hold the secret panel, and open the box, show it's empty. Close the box, give a wave, box open up, it's full of candy. That's all the instructions tell you. No story, nothing. A little bit okay for kids show, but not really fun on a whole. Mm-hmm. Now going a little bit, thinking a little bit more on what might be a good story. Same box, same technique. Only the story I came up with was talking about how when we were younger and our moms helped us clean our rooms, they'd put stuff away and we could never find it. So we'd always ask Mom, where's my socks? Mom'd be like, socks are in the drawer. You go open the drawer, there's no socks there. You're like, Mom, I can't find the socks. Mom's like, no, I put them in the drawer. I know I did. You just didn't look hard enough. You go look again, there's no socks in that drawer. You're like, Mom, I don't know what you're smoking, but there's no socks in that drawer, nothing I can find. Mom comes marching into the house, or marching into the room, walks right up, opens the drawer. See, they're right there, right where I told you they'd be. What do you mean you couldn't find them? Mom leaves. Sometimes you just go take a peek because you're just curious. You go take a peek in that drawer, and sure enough, socks are gone. Well, going a little bit further, you can even get a little bit more fun. Same exact box, only this time we're going to get a little bit different with the tricks. Got a series of cards I made with some basic fears on them. And just going through using Magician's Choice, you boil down to the dolls card. And the story with this one I tell is how Grandma had this thing called a fear box. And what she would do is she would make us face our fears. She'd make us take our fears and put them inside the box so we can look at our fears objectively. Kind of compartmentalize them, figure out why are we afraid? You know, what is it about dolls that I'm so afraid of? And we'd talk about it and we'd discuss it. The problem is Grandma was also one of those face your fears. So when you went to open that drawer again, sure enough, there was your fear right there for you to behold. Whether it be spiders, whether it be rats, or in this case, creepy dolls. Same illusion, same method, same procedure, just 3 different ways of telling the story. So you could basically take any magic trick you want, no matter how simple it is, add a little doctrine up to it, create a great backstory, and you've got something that people are going to talk about. A lot of people, when I'm like, hey, I'm a magician, they're like, well, I don't really see how we could use a magician. Magic doesn't really fit into what we're doing. No. They're looking at it backwards. Magic will fit into anything you're doing as long as you tell the right story. So you just got to kind of, what I do at least, is temper my magic to what's going on in the area. I'm doing a kids' party. Of course, I'm going to do candy out of the drawer. If I'm doing my street busking, I use Mom's sock drawer. Why? Because that attaches to kids and parents alike. I must have done that trick last time I was out in public. I must have done that trick 57 times. And every time I got the same reactions. Kids are just amazed, shaking their heads going, yeah, that's what Mom does. Parents are shaking their heads going, why does this sound so familiar? And then if I'm doing cursed objects, haunted antiques, whatnot, fear box. So it's always nice to have multiple stories for a simple trick, and don't be afraid to do a little arts and crafts. And that was about 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes left, and my talk's over. Question?
Questions?
That's a really nice drawer box. Where did you get it?
Which one? The black one or the blue one?
Yes.
Oh, secondhand shops. I'm always looking for magic kits at secondhand shops. Now the blue ones, they have the hole in the bottom. Let me get a little closer. They have a hole in the bottom that you just put your finger in to make the drawers go in and out. The black one actually has a slide on it that makes the drawer open or close. And that's why this one I like a little bit more for street performing, because then, my hands are in plain view the whole time. All I'm doing is just sliding the little panel to the back. So, but yeah, these just picked up secondhand through magic shop, through whatever I find.
I'm thinking I could 3D print those.
You probably can. I found about 4 different models. If you want me to send you the links, I can.
Yes.
Wow.
I just got
Hey,
2
Tracy.
new printers. So I'm
Hey,
dying.
Tracy,
Yeah.
I think the two things that you and I both have in common is the story is king. That's really it. I don't care if you're using nail writer, band writer, thumb writer. You don't care which presentation. It's the story. The presentation is king.
Exactly. My first 2 rounds out street busking, I was always like, hey, you guys want to see a magic trick? Everybody's like, no, of course not. Nobody wants to see a magic trick. But I tell everybody, it's like, hey, gather around. I want to tell you guys a story.
Nice.
And yeah, people are gathering around and taking a look. And I tell the story. The magic is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I like that. Gather around. Let me tell you a story. I like that. In fact, that's one of the best ways to come up with a routine for your magic is walk through the story. Imagine that you're doing the effects and not actually do the effects.
Yeah. I think it was Paul Prater. I think I read one of his books where it's you create the story and then the effects just kind of fall into place.
Right.
Yes.
You guys ever heard of a podcast called The Moth?
Yes.
No.
If you're not the Moth listener, you should be. It's a bunch of stories and storytelling. And the beauty is some are good, some are great, some are terrible, but you learn what you like. And if you really pay attention, you learn what makes a great story. And for me, one of the things I really love is that hook, the first 1 or 2 lines. It's like, oh, I want to hear this story. That's what I've learned just by watching it. Like this one story starts off with this guy says, so my hands are tied behind my back. My ankles are duct taped. I'm in the trunk of a car and I'm about to die. And I'm like, oh, I got to hear this story. And this guy tells a story about being kidnapped and being a lawyer in this whole thing, but it's very compelling. But that opening line, it's just, oh.
That's moth like the bug.
Yes, MOTH.
Yes.
It's called The Moth. And
The Moth
it's
is absolutely brilliant. And I've found in my area anyway, there have been several local groups who put together similar process, basically following the same rules that The Moth follows for the stories, because they're true stories and you have to tell the story without script or notes. I mean, there's some specifics to it. But it's like an open mic night for storytellers. If you find one locally, I highly suggest you go attend them. I've gone to a number of them, and I always have a great time, whether I'm presenting or not. They're a lot of fun.
All right, I'm going to start recording this. Any other questions for Tracy? All right, there we go.